are back with another video. Before we get into the video, like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Is Titanic Records trying to get their lick back at Nicki Minaj, trying to get their revenge? Because it has been reported that Cardi B's album is challenging to break the record for the most weeks in the top 10 for a female rap album on Billboard this decade, and is gearing up to allegedly spend another week in the top 10. Okay? I think she's already spent 8 weeks beating out Nicki Minaj. So let me know how y'all feel about that. Here's the thing. I don't know if these numbers are organic. In my opinion, I feel like they're trying to beat out Nicki Minaj's Pink Friday 2 record. That's why they have Cardi B in the top 10. Because think about it. How your song in the top 10 with SOS and Sabrina Carpenter's new album, but yet you don't have no hits on the album. They had #1 hits on their album that are not from 5 years ago. Okay? SOS, it did come out in 2022, but that was like, what, 3 years ago? 2 years ago? WAP and Up came out 5 years ago. So to me, I feel like they're doing this so that way they can say, oh, well, yeah, we didn't beat her in the first week sales, but at least we were in the top 10 more weeks than Nicki Minaj. That's what they're trying to do. Because to be quite honest, I don't hear nobody, and it's really no shade, I don't hear nobody talking about this album at all. Like, it's so bizarre that nobody's talking about this album. Now, moving on from that, unfortunately, Cardi B is getting clowned because Blueface, who is currently out of jail, said that Chrisean smashed Off the Cheat.
Kept going for it. Every nigga, she just keeps going for it. Like,
do you know if it was true?
I'm looking like, bitch, get the feature.
Well, I was gonna say, do you know if it was true? Because there was this rumor that Offset hooked up with Chrisean Rock.
Yeah, she got fucked.
While y'all were together?
Nah, I was already engaged with somebody else. So I didn't care. But she has a thing where she likes to make it seem like I care.
Right. So she fucked Offset while he was with Cardi.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Right.
Now, I know Cardi B's not with Off the Cheat no more, but I do feel like this is relevant considering that she has so much energy for Sweetie. Where was the energy for Chrisean Cocaine Rock? You didn't want her to rock you out and knock you out, and you didn't want to smoke. You were scared. Now, moving on from that, Megan Thee Stallion testified in court, and she did say that his was about Nicki Minaj. I know a lot of her fans were trying to push the narrative. Oh, it was never about Nicki. Nicki just went off because the shoe fit and she got to wear it. Well, here's confirmation. And then it also was revealed that she said she never drunk from a Henny bottle, which we know that's probably not true. That probably was a lie. No shade in my opinion. But she said she never drank out of a Henny bottle, and, her haters like Nicki Minaj made up that rumor that she was a drunk. She also was annoyed, allegedly, that they kept bringing up Nicki Minaj. Is like the 3rd or 4th time they brought up Nicki Minaj. So there's clearly an issue with Devil Nation and Nicki Minaj, because she's even being brought up in court. And it seems as though they feel like Megan is Nicki Minaj's biggest competition. And I think it's because Nicki Minaj has publicly dissed her so much. Megan also said that people thought she deserved to get shot because she talked about sex and, partying and, twerking and stuff like that. And she also admitted that she, at one moment in time, wanted to take her life. Then she also sent out this PSA to all blogs.
Bloggers to know about their behavior online. Just because you have freedom of speech, that does not mean you have freedom to bully.
That's right. Now, I'm going to be honest with you guys. I feel like I'm kind of over it personally, and this is just me personally, of the victim narrative Megan has about herself. You're in cahoots and in bed with Rock Nation, they're never innocent. So I don't understand why she talking about freedom of speech, but you don't have freedom to bully when you was basically, in my opinion, bullying Kelsey. She tried to act like her and Kelsey never fought. I don't believe that. That's not what the witness said, Sean Kelly said. So I feel like she just says a bunch of lies. Now, moving on to Queen Bee. So Queen Bee's SØCRET has won the 2025 Beauty Brand of the Year. The brand has made over $100 million from just the Restoring Hair Edge drops alone, according to WWD. Okay? So it looks like Queen Bee is about to get her $1 billion company that y'all been clowning her about for years. Oh, she's not a billionaire, even though she is. Oh my goodness. She got a tour for the rest of her life, blah, blah, blah. Y'all been clowning Queen Bee, but it looks like that is not going to be for long. Queen Bee about to get her $1 billion company, and I low-key feel like Queen Bee's about to step into the beauty industry too, okay? Is low-key given that I feel like she's going to transition from hair to skin to makeup low-key. Similar to what Rihanna did, but Rihanna did it with makeup, then she transitioned to skin, and then her hair care line flopped. So I feel like Beyoncé finna do the same thing. Not only that though, Rosalia shares a photo of a board with songs from her album ÄLÜÄ, and Beyoncé is an alleged feature on one of the songs on the album. So let me know how y'all feel about that. I definitely would be here for Rosalia and Queen Bee collaboration. Queen Bee's about to get back into her Latin bag and show y'all how it's done. So let me know if you guys would be here for it. Now, moving on from that, it has been reported that Normani has a new collection at Shein. Okay, a lot of fans on social media are clowning her, saying she gave up her career to be a model for Shein or do a collaboration with Shein. And my whole thing is with that, I feel like, well, y'all didn't say anything when Cardi B had her deal with Shein. Cardi B, I think it was earlier this year, was trying on fake fur coats for Shein for a few $100,000. Okay, y'all didn't say nothing. I feel like, why are y'all clowning Normani for trying to get a bag? But when Cardi B was advertising Shein, y'all was quiet. Okay, see how y'all pick and choose? Now, let's just be honest. A lot of people wear Shein. Okay, even some of these female rappers, I believe, be wearing Shein. I don't believe they be all wearing designer. A lot of these celebrities and influencers and rappers be wearing Shein on the low. And they be pretending like it's all designer. So in my opinion, I don't feel like Normani's doing anything wrong. She's trying to get a bag. Y'all was making fun of her for being a DoorDasher. Remember, they were saying that she worked for Uber Eats or DoorDash. You know, she worked for Shein, which is probably a better deal than DoorDash or Uber Eats. She probably got more money doing that than she do for her music. And y'all clowning her? I don't respect that. That's a chop. Now, in my opinion, I think Doja Cat is done. She's still going back and forth with the fans. She tweeted, might not be, but at least I care enough to try twice a week, you effing weirdo stalker piece of ish. Get the F away from me, CUNT. A fan responded and said, mad and miserable because it's the truth. B, where you barely even promoted V. Fell off the charts drastically because the collective wasn't effing with it. Now you're on tour charging $500 plus to see you Whitney Houston tweak on stage with no dancers, no visuals, nothing. Girl, F you. Wait a minute. So Doja Cat don't got no dancers or visuals? Here's the thing. There has been something going on behind the scenes with Doja Cat and her label. And because V flopped, she don't have the budget that she used to have. Dancers, multiple outfits, that costs money. That is not free. And the kitty litters did not support V for it to get a big budget for tour. See, if you want dancers like what Nicki Minaj had for Pink Friday 2, then you might have to sell over 57,000 first week. No shade. It's no shade to Doja Cat, but the budget has been cut. And that's why she's upset. That's why she's pissed off at the fans. And I don't blame her. If I was Doja Cat, I would definitely not do anything, do the minimum, because y'all don't support Doja Cat. V was a really good album and y'all let it flop. So whose fault is that? Y'all got to take accountability. So I can understand why she's going off. Now, what I don't understand is why she's saying, oh, you will respect me, B word, and calling her fans, the CUNT word. I mean, that's all unnecessary. That's really unnecessary because Doja Cat did it to herself. I also think Doja Cat got a little bit too cocky. When you get cocky, then you can also get humble. I think there's only a few artists that can get cocky, okay? And that is really, Riri, Queen Bee, Nicki, Mariah, not the scientist, not the clown, Mariah, the Queen of Christmas. Those artists, it makes sense why they're cocky and why they got their nose up in the air. But you, Doja Cat, you not even nowhere under level, so you need to pipe down. Now, on the flip side, Musty Walker, Scratch Off, and Doja Cat's Go Girl is projected to debut at number 55 on the Billboard Hot 100 based on midweek predictions, okay? So, I think the song is fire. I don't care for Doja Cat's verse, no shade. I think Summer Walker and Scratch Off's verses were way better. I don't feel like she fit the song, but she definitely probably increased the streams by a little bit. So congratulations to them. Now, speaking of Scratch Off, fans are saying that Champagne Thickums wrote Scratch Off's verse for her collaboration she did with Musty Walker, the Go Girl verse. A lot of people are speculating that Champagne Thickums have been writing for Scratch Off for a while now, or she's taken his sound because her verse sounds similar to what Champagne Thickums has basically done before. Now, she is sleeping with 21 Below Average, which is Champagne Thickums' bestie. And let's not also forget that they did collaborate. It obviously flopped, but they did do a collaboration. I think it's called Housekeeping Knows. Here's my thing. I was told that allegedly he has been in the studio with Scratch Off giving her pointers. Okay, in regards to her cadence, her sound, singing, rapping. If you notice, Scratch Off is doing that a little bit more. Where she trying to rap and sing, which before she wasn't doing that. She put out the song Somebody where she was kind of rapping and singing. Georgia Peach, which is not a bad record. I think Georgia Peach is actually pretty fire. But at the end of the day, she's doing the singing, rapping thing, and it is a Champagne Thickums influence. So allegedly she has worked with his producers. He has given her pointers in regards to her sound. So there is some truth to that. That's why she's not going to fully debunk it. But in my opinion, I don't really respect it low key because I feel like if it was another female rapper, they wouldn't get the respect of a GOAT or a good artist if you got somebody giving you pointers. Or if he's giving you lines to say and how to do your cadence, then you're not really that talented because that means you got somebody like helping you. You basically got a Parson Fontaine. Now, moving on from that, Nas basically called Doechii, Dot, and SZA the big three. He did say in a song, how did it slip? Now it's just Doechii, Dot, and SZA with the most powerful hits. This has garnered a lot of mixed reactions, but guess what? The big three is going to be on Doechii's album. What SZA and Kendrick Lamar allegedly will be on Doechii's album. So the big three is coming together. TDE. I don't know if they're going to be on the same song, but allegedly SZA and Doechii got something to stash, and Kendrick does want to work with Doechii. So the big three is coming together. Let me know how y'all feel about it. I'll be here for it. I think Kendrick could easily wash Doechii though. I think Doechii's super talented. Doechii probably could wash a lot of other female rappers though. Doja's one of the good ones. She got talent. She could wash any other female rappers except Nicki Minaj. But anybody else, he probably can go toe-to-toe with. But Kendrick is going to easily wash her. Okay, so hopefully she's singing and he rapping like what SZA does. Now, speaking of Kendrick, his producers, Mustard and Soundwave, have been teasing new music by Kendrick Lamar. Okay, they produce G0ES. So allegedly Kendrick could be dropping. I don't know if he would drop, a deluxe when Christmas music is about to come out. But G0ES did come out, I believe, Thanksgiving week. So, I don't think he really cares. And he did 319,000. But I feel like, I don't know if it makes sense to drop a deluxe now. I feel like it's been a whole year. I would prefer a whole new album. That's just me, though. We will have to give Apple Music 50,000 lashings. They have named Tyler the Bottom Bussy Creator the Apple Music Artist of the Year. They said his output through the end of the year did more than just reinforce his position as one of the most gifted creatives of his era. It confirmed him as a generational voice, an artist brave enough to follow the flight path of every musical great that preceded him. An MC, a producer who will always zig when expected to zag, leaving the game better for it in the process. I think this is a little bit overhyped. Tyler Bottom Bussy, the creator, ain't as talented as people be trying to act like. I feel like they should have gave it to the Clips or Kendrick Lamar. If we talking about a rapper that did a big one in 2025, it wasn't Tyler. Tyler just put out an album that nobody gives a fuck about. Not the one, not Chromatic or whatever the one that's called, but the dance album that came out a few months ago that nobody talks about. Let's be very clear. Tyler is overrated. It should have went to the Clips or Kendrick Lamar, who performed at a Super Bowl and has one of the highest grossing rap tours of all time. He has a higher grossing tour than Camel Toe and Queen Bee. Tyler does not, okay? What was the hit on his last album? He didn't have any, okay? What did he get, like 2 nominations at the Grammys? Like, it just doesn't make sense to give it to him when the Clips put out a better album and the Clips are more talented. I just feel like, this was a paid award. So it's a chop for me. Anyway, I got some very hot tea on Nicki Minaj, Sydney Sweeney, Zendaya, Hailey, and Selena. Link in description on Patreon. And I hope you have a great day.